Welcome to today's edition of the Exploring Mining podcast, featuring stock news from TSX, TSXV, CSE, ASX, NASDAQ, and New York Stock Exchange mining companies, plus interviews with CEOs and leading experts. Hey folks, Sam Mowers here, back with another episode of the Exploring Mining podcast. For news today, we have the latest from Newmont Corporation, Excelsior Mining Corp., Palladium One Mining Inc., and Braveheart Resources Inc. So Newmont Corporation, which is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol NEM, is transferring mining leader Jim Cooper, who's the general manager of Boddington in Australia, to lead the Peñasquito mine in Mexico. Tom Palmer, Newmont's president and CEO, commented, quote, "Under Jim's leadership, Boddington has delivered step-change improvements in safety, mill throughput and recovery, mine plan sequencing, and execution. Boddington's scale and processing characteristics are similar to Peñasquito's, making Jim uniquely qualified to replicate Boddington's consistently strong performance at Peñasquito in Mexico." End quote. Excelsior Mining Corp., which is traded on the TSX under the ticker symbol MIN, has announced an update on operations at the Gunnison Copper Project in southern Arizona. Among other things, the update indicates that initial copper recovery grades are higher than the feasibility study expectations. Stephen Twirerold, the president and CEO, said, quote, "We have the newest, most orderly, and technologically advanced in-situ recovery wellfield on the planet, and to date, it is functioning better than anticipated. We look forward to updating the market on our progress as we complete the transition to producer status." End quote. Palladium One Mining Inc., which is traded on the TSXV under the ticker symbol PDM, has entered into a binding letter of intent to buy back an existing 2% net smelter return royalty on the Hokkaido deposit of the palladium-dominant LK project in Finland. Company president and CEO Derek Weirauch explained, quote, "The historic Hokkaido deposit is now royalty-free. Buying back the existing royalty on Hokkaido eliminates a dilutive overhang on the project while also providing future optionality." End quote. According to the press release, quote, "The terms of the royalty buyback include a cash payment of $50,000 Canadian and issuance of 375,000 common shares of the company on closing. The transaction is expected to close this month and is subject to definitive documentation, customary terms, conditions for a transaction of this nature, and TSX Venture Exchange approval." End quote. And Braveheart Resources Inc., which is traded on the TSXV under the ticker symbol BHT, is planning to begin drilling from underground workings at the Bull River Mine project to test the down-dip extension of the vein systems under the current workings. The press release indicates that, quote, "The Bull River Mine project has an indicated resource of 1.51 million tons of copper, gold, and silver mineralized material with an average copper equivalent grade of 2.263% copper equivalent based on a cut-off grade of 1% copper equivalent. Additionally, the project has an inferred resource of 340,000 tons at 1.86% copper equivalent based on a cutoff grade of 1% copper equivalent." End quote. Well, that does it for today's Exploring Mining podcast. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor for this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. InvestorIdeas.com reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website. All investment involves risk, and this podcast is not meant to be an endorsement to buy or sell securities or products. To hear more podcasts, you can go to InvestorIdeas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can also hear our podcasts on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeart.com, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, and SoundCloud.